I want to be honored, and it is written in the book that honor will be heaped on my name long after I'm gone, man. That's our whole purpose here, man. That's what all this shit for. That honor is put on our name long after we gone, man. CEO thought of the day, man. Let's get right to it. The CEO thought of the day is this, and this is something I learned in prison. Listen, man, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Yeah, I'm gonna say that again. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. I learned that in prison, man. It took me to be in prison. It took me to be in a situation where I was being oppressed, right? By people who thought they was righteous. Now listen, I had did some fucked up shit. I deserved to be sitting in prison. But while I was in there, I was like, God damn, these guards are more rotten than I am. Yeah, like this system is more rotten than I would ever be. They motherfucking enslaved people in this motherfucker. I ain't never enslaved nobody. Now I made a nigga put his hands in the air a couple times. You know what I'm saying? But after I got what I got, I went on by my business, right? But these people torment people life every day, all day, right? And that's what I realized, that it's not what you do, it's how you do it. They are able to do that, right? Based on how they do it. It's not what they doing, it's how they doing it that makes it last, that makes it matter, right? So yeah, a motherfucker will celebrate, um, motherfucker will celebrate you being gay if you got money or something like that. It ain't that they gay. People looking at that they are successful, right? So when I realized that, right, I don't know if that was a good analogy, but when I realized in prison that you could actually get away with shit based on how you doing it, not what you doing, my world kind of changed, right? The way I perceive things changed, because I'm like, people really don't care about what you do, is how you do it. Let's use YouTube, for example, right? People didn't care about me cussing Percy out, right? Or coming at Percy. People cared about how I did it, right? Yeah, oh, well, you shouldn't do it like this, or you shouldn't do it like that, right? But I didn't care because I understood the purpose and I understood my intent, even though they didn't understand that. But people only care about how you do it, not what you do it. That's why motherfuckers always got an input about what you doing. Oh, don't do it like this, do it like that, right? So it is more important that you pay attention to how you're doing it than what you're doing it. And I'm using that as an example that I learned in prison, because we talked about that yesterday, right? About Puffy Bodyguard, right? And versus Cassidy. All right. Both of them are trying to do the same thing, right? But the bodyguard ain't paying attention to what he's doing. He's going about it the wrong way. Cassidy went about it in the right way. And I got a little clip that I want to play of a lady explaining what I was trying to explain yesterday, right? And that becomes the CEO thought of the day. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? So what, ladies? You fucking all them niggas. Keep that shit to yourself. That's your business, right? So what, homeboy? You doing whatever the fuck you doing, right? Keep that shit to yourself. Pay attention how you do it, man. You could do the wrong shit the right way. And y'all done heard me say that a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn that in prison, right? That you can do the wrong shit the right way, right? And it's the way you doing it and not what you doing in majority of cases. And when you understand that and you able to step outside yourself and look at yourself, right? And judge yourself based on what you're doing and your intent, a lot of things in life will change. A lot of things will start going your way, right? Because people are paying attention to um, what you're doing. So make sure you're doing it in a manner in which it benefits the end result you want to produce. The bodyguard nigga wasn't doing that. I'm looking at what he's doing and I'm like, look, nigga, Cassidy just showed you the way. Why the fuck you over here trying to explain to us? Go put that shit on paper and explain that shit to the court. And I ran across a clip that explained exactly what Cassidy did versus what he did. So is he wrong for blasting Puffy? No, he ain't wrong. But the way he did it is not an effective way. Why? Because we got a clean glass. Cassidy just presented the way to do it. Nigga, you not doing it that way. But here go a video that gives a little bit more in depth about the way she planned it and the way it was effective, right? Versus the way we think they work. and why the lawsuit was settled at such immediate speed based on what she put down. I'm gonna let this lady explain it to y'all because maybe my explanation might not be sufficient, so to speak, right? Might not work like that. But here's what this is what I was trying to explain to the bodyguard, and this is what I'm explaining to y'all. Put your shit together, man. Yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. It's just you gotta pay attention to how you doing the shit. And once you do that, and once your ducks in a row, shit, you get paid the next day. Yeah, she just proved that. Your ass get paid the next day. But let's get to this. Pull this up over here. Let me hit this button so y'all can hear this real good, man.
They didn't sue just Diddy. They sued his corporation.
They sure did.
And they didn't sue just Diddy. They sued his corporation.
They sure did.
And they sued his corporations and sued in her capacity as an employee. When you do that, it triggers commercial liability insurance.
Yeah.
And it triggers another policy called directors and officers. Okay. And we know he's a director of these companies as the CEO. So now you got two policies. What happens then is it takes away Puffy's ability to settle. It's not his choice no more.
So it's no longer personal accountability. It's his organization.
It's his organization. And it's no different than like if you hit somebody with your car.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you have State Farm. Mm-hmm. State Farm gets to decide to settle, not you. You could say, I didn't run the stop sign. That's not true. They're lying. If State Farm says, we don't care, we did our investigation. Her attorneys were really brilliant. They didn't sue just Diddy. They sued his corporation.
They sure did.
And they sued his corporations and sued in her capacity as an employee. When you do that, it triggers commercial liability insurance.
Yeah.
And it triggers another policy called directors and officers. Okay. And we know he's a director of these companies as the CEO. So now you got two policies. What happens then is it takes away Puffy's ability to settle. It's not his choice no more.
So it's no longer personal accountability. It's his organization.
It's his organization. And it's no different than like if you hit somebody with your car. Mm-hmm. Let's say you have State Farm. Mm-hmm. State Farm gets to decide to settle, not you. You could say, I didn't run the stop sign. That's not true. They're lying. If State Farm says, we don't care, we did our investigation.
So that is right there, man. It ain't what she did, is how she did it that got her paid and got her the quickest result. As y'all heard in that explanation, right? She sued Puffy as a former employee, not a girlfriend. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. She sued Puffy as a former employee, not as his girlfriend. And by suing as a former employee, it put all his corporations and all the things that he's managing up under at risk, triggering his insurance. She paid the next day. It's not what you do, it's how you do it, man. I hope y'all catch that. I hope y'all get that on the way home, man. Right? That's something I learned on my way home when I was in prison. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. People get away with all kind of foul shit all day, every day, based on how they do it, man. So, hey, I'm not saying you go out there and do a bunch of foul shit. What I'm saying is pay attention to what you're doing and make sure the way you are doing it helps bring about the results that you want. Don't just do like the bodyguard and just get on here yelling and hollering, nigga. You was an employee. You need to go read her paperwork and file exactly what the fuck she filed so you could get paid the next day. Nigga, y'all didn't understand that. She gave y'all the game. That is justice. Y'all trying to get Puffy in the courtroom and all that. Nigga, that bitch, man, brilliant. I don't think y'all heard what they said. Brilliant. And that was a little bit of explanation of that. And right there, I digress. Nigga, I got to get off at the exit right there, man. We're going to jump in the chat and see what y'all talking about after the goddamn break.